Man, this movie, it's just too much.
Yeah, the writers are on the set. These are twisted minds to come up with stuff like what we just saw. Do you fear
what's
that?
their deal?
Yeah.
There's more killing in this movie than I think any movie I've ever.
Imagine waking up one day and realizing the world around you isn't real, where news is manipulated, memories are implanted, and freedom is nothing more than an illusion created by unseen forces. What would you do in that world? The 1980s dared to explore those nightmares and turn them into cinema. While Reagan's America celebrated order and morality, filmmakers exposed the shadows behind that illusion, creating dark, futuristic worlds where humans became victims of their own systems. These films weren't just bold, they were dangerous, showing things no one else would dare to, mocking governments, showing presidents die on screen, and leaving audiences fainting from violence. Some were banned, some censored, others buried, but their impact never disappeared. They lingered like warnings about the world we live in now. So here are 10 of the most controversial sci-fi films of the 1980s that shocked Hollywood and terrified the world. Number 10, Escape from New York, from 1981. Set in a future America where Manhattan has become a giant prison, surrounded by steel walls and cut off from the world, it tells the story of Snake Plissken, a convicted soldier sent to rescue the president whose plane has crashed inside the city. What he finds isn't just chaos, but a society devoured by its own corruption and indifference. John Carpenter turned a $6 million budget into a political nightmare that felt too close to reality. Many countries banned it, calling it dangerous, but audiences saw the truth. It wasn't about the future. It was about their own world slowly turning into a cage, and that made Escape from New York a timeless masterpiece of rebellion. Number 9. The Thing from 1982. A film so terrifying it was banned for being too realistic. Set in the icy emptiness of Antarctica, a group of scientists discover an alien that can mimic humans, creating an atmosphere of mistrust where no one knows who is human anymore. John Carpenter crafted more than a monster story. He showed how fear and paranoia can destroy humanity faster than any alien could. With grotesque special effects showing bodies twisting and melting, audiences fainted. Theaters received complaints, and several countries banned or censored it. Yet decades later, The Thing is seen as one of the greatest horror films ever made, a brutal reflection of how easily humans turn against one another when fear takes over. Number 8. Mad Max 2. The Road Warrior from 1981. In a world where civilization has collapsed and fuel is more valuable than life, Mel Gibson's Max roams the wasteland in a violent fight for survival. Every chase and explosion was real. No CGI, no safety nets. The brutality was so shocking that several countries banned it or censored it heavily. But beyond the chaos, the message hit deep. When resources vanish, so does morality. George Miller's dystopia warned that civilization is only one crisis away from collapse. A message that feels more real today than ever before. Number 7. Scanners from 1981. It opens with a man's head exploding in front of a crowd, shocking audiences into silence. David Cronenberg used this story of telepathic humans manipulated by corporations to question who truly controls the human mind. Governments feared its imagery and message, banning it in several countries. But behind the blood and horror was a powerful warning about science and power, predicting an era when technology and corporations would invade human thought. Scanners became a cult phenomenon and remains one of the boldest sci-fi horrors ever made. Number 6. Strange Days from 1995. A film that felt too real for its time. It follows a man who sells recorded memories, letting people relive others' experiences, including crime, violence, and death. When a scene showing white police killing a black activist played on screen, many countries banned the film, calling it dangerous. Director Catherine Bigelow didn't make it to entertain, but to expose humanity's obsession with thrill and pain. It failed at the box office, but later became a prophetic mirror of today's world, where we consume others' experiences through screens without realizing we're being consumed ourselves. Number 5. Akira from 1988. An animated masterpiece that shook the world. In a neon-drenched city rebuilt from nuclear ruin, two friends are caught in a government experiment gone wrong. What begins as friendship ends in tragedy, as one gains uncontrollable psychic powers that destroy everything. Countries banned it for its violence and disturbing imagery, but Akira wasn't about destruction. It was about human arrogance and the danger of power without morality. It redefined animation, proving it could tell deep and terrifying stories. Number 4. They Live from 1988. John Carpenter struck again, this time exposing capitalism itself. The film follows a drifter who discovers sunglasses that reveal a terrifying truth. The rich and powerful are actually aliens controlling humanity through advertising and media. Many theaters refused to show it because it attacked the very systems funding Hollywood. But its message hit too hard to ignore, showing how easily humans surrender truth for comfort. Over time, They Live became a cult classic, a symbol of resistance against control, and its message feels more relevant with every passing year. Number 3. Videodrome from 1983. Another Cronenberg nightmare where television doesn't just influence minds, it reshapes bodies. A TV producer discovers a broadcast of real torture and becomes consumed by it, transforming into something inhuman. The film was banned in several countries for mixing sex, violence, and hallucination, but its deeper message was prophetic. It warned that the media doesn't just reflect reality, it manipulates it, creating people addicted to watching pain and control. Videodrome failed commercially, but later became one of the most visionary films ever made about technology's power over the human soul. Number 2. A Clockwork Orange, revived in the 1980s, reignited fear wherever it played. Stanley Kubrick's brutal tale of free will and violence was so controversial, it was blamed for real-life crimes, leading Kubrick himself to pull it from UK theaters for decades. Governments around the world banned it for its depictions of violence and psychological conditioning. But what made it truly haunting wasn't its brutality. It was its question. Is forced goodness any different from evil? Kubrick created a world where morality was mechanical, and that was what terrified people the most. And finally, number 1, Brazil from 1985. Terry Gilliam's masterpiece of bureaucracy and madness. In a world ruled by paperwork and rules, one small error destroys a man's life. It's a darkly funny yet chilling reflection of modern society, where systems replace humanity. Universal Pictures wanted a happy ending. Gilliam refused, and the battle became legendary. The film was banned in several countries for its anti-government themes. Brazil showed that the most dangerous control isn't dictatorship, but bureaucracy disguised as order. What was once fiction now feels like prophecy in a world where machines and paperwork dictate every move. These 10 films weren't just banned because of violence or language. They were buried because they told the truth too clearly. They predicted the world we live in today, a world of control, illusion, and fear disguised as freedom. So what's more terrifying? The films that showed us the truth, or the reality that tried to silence them? If you believe that banned films reveal the deepest truths about humanity, then subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon so you never miss the stories that dare to challenge the world.